Forever. Dog.
I don't know.
It was just supposed to be like a silly little prank. I was planning to do it in the last episode, but I felt so bad that I was like, I will just do it in the next one.
Is that why you were quiet? Because you were even more quiet, where I was like, Mac's really not like...
I was like, when should I do it? I was sitting there thinking, when I was looking for a question, I was like sitting here, and then I started getting heart palpitations. I was like, should I do it now?
You guys want to hear some comments I just responded to? Because I posted my little outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are they good?
Someone said, your socks are giving millennial. And I replied, not
ankle.
wearing socks, just ran one block down the street because I couldn't find any. So millennial. What is wrong with people?
No, that's the thing now.
What is actually wrong with people?
Have you seen that? The ankle socks versus like higher socks? That's millennials wear ankle socks, and like it's cool and hip to wear socks that go up past your ankle.
I wear both depending on my outfit. I'm picking the socks based on how I feel.
Well,
We
basically,
can't be judging based on socks. That's not right.
socksless is fine. I think that's not millennial,
It's
but
not
apparently ankle socks.
This is not about fashion.
Is.
This is about function.
Yeah,
Sometimes
Exactly.
you need to
and
wear
function.
a higher sock for
Yeah.
the shoe you're wearing.
I agree.
Yes.
But that's
This
fashion
is
as well.
ridiculous.
Well,
I can't
okay.
think of a time when you would need an ankle sock, though. That's the thing. When is
And
an
like an
ankle
ankle
sock
boot.
function?
You don't want it showing over the top of your boot, but you need to protect your leg. Why are
Okay.
you looking at me like that?
Pair of leggings
This
if
is
you're going
real.
for a run.
Yeah, but then you wear a higher sock. You don't wear an ankle sock with leggings.
Yeah, you
Oh,
do
ankle.
if you're
I
wearing
misunderstood
long
that.
leggings.
Tennis shoes.
No,
Ankle
you
socks,
wear
tennis shoes.
You wear a higher sock. You pull it over
You
the
could wear
legging.
if you're femme, you could wear
Fashion.
like a thicker sock or whatever, but that's not for that. I'm not that type of girl. I don't when I go for a run, it's honestly a miracle that is happening. Here's another one.
Oh my god.
Here's another one.
Wait.
I said,
What,
why does
Mac,
this
are you okay?
outfit kind of slap?
What, Mac? Are you okay?
Ellen DeGeneres dead at 66.
No. Holy shit. No, that's not real. Are you pranking us? Ashley's about to break down, Mac. If you're pranking right now,
serious?
No, it's a prank. It's a prank.
Jesus, you just don't do that to Ashley. Do you see what Mac? That is like not.
so sorry, you guys.
What
It's a
kind of prank? You run a prank by us before you do something like that to Ashley's poor heart. She's under
by
the...
you.
Yes.
Run a
Oh,
prank
no.
by you.
I just saw her eyes go red.
I'm so sorry,
filled
Ashley.
with tears.
The trend is you tell your parents an important celebrity died. Danny,
Oh,
I'll
you
tell you
just,
what to put
I'm
that as text.
sweating.
Are you guys okay?
I'm lightheaded.
Maybe my acting was a little too good there.
That was so good.
Thank
It's
you.
a very believable choice is the problem. 66 is like the perfect age of someone
To
you
make it
don't want them
shocking.
to die, but then they might die.
Well, I looked up her age. to
no,
make
I
sure
know,
that
but it's
I
a
could
perfect.
do
It was
this.
a perfect selection.
I thought of it last night in bed.
I'm Googling her to make sure that she's still alive. Okay.
It's good.
Well, I'm
good.
just gonna
That was a
say
good prank,
for the
Mac.
real people who are listening right now,
The real people.
like,
People for the real ones.
I mean, what Ellen did
Yeah.
for straight Americans
yeah.
to change their mind about gay people is invaluable. It cannot be measured. I would argue gay marriage happening when it happened is at least partially responsible. Ellen is partially responsible. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't remember far enough back.
Yeah,
I remember when it was
yeah.
legalized, though.
Ellen came out on her sitcom in like 1994 and was canceled because she was gay and was like exiled from, no one would work with her until her show.
Well, and now
Finding Nemo.
it's what that people don't like her because she's kind of a that's kind of the thing, right? She's like a diva. She's not very nice. That's
People
the thing
say
that people
she's
are
mean,
mean. Okay, yeah.
that she's
Okay.
very rude to her. Honestly, I think there's a lot of bosses out there that are huge. I've worked for them.
Yes. Yes.
They're not getting canceled.
No.
Well, I will say the same thing happened to Jimmy Fallon like a couple months ago, and now nobody gives a so.
Yeah, see, I didn't even hear about that.
And
Didn't even hear about that one.
some compassion for Jimmy Fallon. He is an alcoholic. The man is
Right.
he
Yeah.
is severe. And that doesn't
don't
mean
keep
that
up
his
with them.
employees should live in a hostile work environment. It means he should get help. But help and getting sober doesn't always look the way that you want. I think about this a lot. People love when someone with a mental illness or a substance abuse problem or yada, yada, yada looks like a victim to everyone else rather than making victims in their own lives, which is often the case.
Yep.
Often the case when someone has something that they're going through, other people are getting hurt, and it's not right. And everyone loves when they're on the other side of that and they've gotten through it and good for you and yada, yada, yada. But no one loves them when they're going through it. When they're going through it, I think, a really a bold choice to make on this podcast is Kanye West, who is so mentally ill and has a lot going on. And we don't even know what he would look like or do or say if he were properly treated for what he's going through. Maybe he still would be super anti-Semitic. Maybe he would still say all these really problematic things, but we don't really know, right? Because he's like super mentally ill.
I'm thinking of women with who are with BPD, borderline personality disorder, or bipolar. Often you get that kind of like manic pixie dream girl thing where it's romanticized as, oh, they're like different and quirky, and it's almost like certain versions of symptoms is acceptable and romanticized.
Yeah.
But then when you actually have somebody who's experiencing something like BPD, whatever it is, like you were saying, some sort of struggle, it's not pretty.
No.
Like it's these
and
things
hurt people.
Yes.
And then we go online, and I mean, this is what happens to women online all the time. We go online and we absolutely rip them to shreds. And then 10 years later, when the documentary comes out about what they were going through, oh, what a hero.
Yeah.
What a hero.
Yeah.
Just fucking like, what is the point of all of this speculation? If she does something illegal and it's not going to court, then yes, cancellation, speaking out, calling out becomes a tool, right? But if that's not what you're using it for, then what are you using it for?
Yeah. Damn,
I don't
guys,
know.
it was just supposed to be like a silly little prank.
You
Is
told
everyone
your
okay?
father Ellen DeGeneres was dead. Like, that's not, in what world did you think that was going to be a silly little prank?
I was planning to do it in the last episode, but I felt so bad that I was like, I will just do it in the next one.
Is that why you were quiet? Because you were even more quiet, where I was like,
You were
that's
like,
really
when am I
not
going
like,
to slip this Ellen DeGeneres
yeah,
thing
you were
in?
just thinking about your
When
prank.
should I do it? I was sitting there thinking, when I was looking for a question, I was like sitting here, and then I started getting heart palpitations.
Wait,
I
do
was
you
like,
guys
should
think I
do it
could
now?
get on Ellen from my reaction to that? I was like such a good fan. Did you see me?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
We might get a repost on that clip.
Ellen's
How is everybody? How you guys doing?
Oh.
I had one more thing about Ellen.
Sorry. Okay, one more thing about Ellen.
Ellen,
And then you want to go back to Kanye or
2004 Here and Now special. I watched that in high school so many times and in college.
I think I saw it, but I can't remember. I'm
that
pretty sure I
special
watched
is
it.
so good. That special here, can I just quote one line? She's talking about the local news, and they're like, something's dangerous it could be in your dinner. And then she goes, is it peas? And it's just really funny. Is it peas?
The way that's what you remembered makes it even better.
That's like the Cards Against Humanity.
3 syllables.
Card?
Is it peas? And it's so funny.
The one the Cards Against Humanity card that's bees? Question mark. That one has been my favorite card from day one, and it never fails to make me laugh. every time. How is everybody? Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Chosen Family Podcast. Somebody else want to introduce it? I feel like I've done it the past few times.
No, I'm going through something right now.
Every week.
Every week.
We sit around the family
We're
dinner
going
table.
through
We answer
something
your
together.
questions on our chosenfamily.com/Patreon. Patreon.com/chosenfamilypodcast.
Come on.
Right?
Yes.
I don't have my sticky note
Patreon.com/chosen
anymore. I used to have my sticky
Patreon.com/chosen
note.
family podcast.
I'm Mac and Jimmy, your hot teenage brother.
Baby.
I'm Alayna Joy. I'm your mom. Mac is baby.
I'm Ashley Gavin, and I'm your dad.
My dog ate my spoon.
No.
I saw that.
He
Why is your spoon so soft?
why are his teeth so strong?
Real.
I don't know that he could have eaten a spoon from like IKEA.
It's
Julio
just wood.
doesn't
it's
play.
It's a wooden spoon that I carved with my own 2 hands. And he chewed it. He ate it
This is so
while
symbolic.
we were at Costco.
I don't know what to tell you, Alayna. Like, just be stronger and get a harder wood.
I'm gonna have to do another spoon.
Wow.
And I'm worried for this
What
part
did
of my
you do
hand.
with this spoon?
Well, we
Did you
just
eat
had
with
them.
it?
Well, it was after my birthday because I was not joking when I said I was doing spoon carving for my birthday. So we had everybody over. We all did spoon carving. So then we had me and my girlfriend's spoons out, and yeah, he chewed them. He chewed them. Well, mine.
Why
He
yours
left my
and not your
girlfriend's alone.
girlfriend's?
I don't know. Maybe he missed me more.
Did you ever use your spoon for anything? Did you ever like?
No, because it still didn't feel finished. So it was felt more decorative. And I messed up. Anyway, it's just a sad day for
What'd
my
you mess
spoon.
up?
I'm so sorry.
I made the handle too thin. I overdid it, and then it just didn't look how I wanted it to look.
Maybe he's just motivating you to make another spoon that's better.
I was saying
Maybe.
he's just getting rid of the imperfect
Remember,
spoon, so
Alayna,
you don't
hurt
have to look
people
at
hurt
it.
people. And he's really just trying to motivate you.
Yeah. Hurt puppers.
He was hurt that we didn't
puppers.
bring him to Costco. He was hurt that we left him at home.
You can always make another spoon. We'll spoon with you.
I need to get that would be cute. We could do a spoon carving episode. I need
would
to
love
get the
to do that.
tools. I don't have the spoon carving tools, so I need to get those, and then I can carve another spoon.
How'd you carve the first one?
My friend, he does spoon carving workshops with the Vancouver Tool Library, if anybody's interested. Jasper at the Vancouver Tool Library. 1 out of 5 Americans have learn a new language on their bucket list. If that's you, make 2024 the year that you finally check it off that list with Babbel. I love Babbel so much that I am now getting my in-laws onto it. I personally use it for French, but my partner wants to learn Spanish. Babbel's got Spanish too. I might be hopping over to those lessons so that we can do it together. Babbel is the first language learning service that I have found that actually teaches me applicable, usable, conversational French. Be a better you in 2024 with Babbel, the science-backed language learning app that actually works. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really even help you speak the language. Babbel has quick 10-minute lessons that have been handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. It's designed by real people for real conversations. Babbel's tips and tools are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teaching, so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. And here is a special limited-time deal for our listeners. Right now, you can get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/chosen. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/chosen. That's spelled BABBEL.com/chosen. Rules and restrictions may apply. Yeah, that's my update. Mac, how are you?
I'm great. I'm going to review my loops for you guys.
Yes! Oh my god. Okay, I've been waiting.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this moment.
I got a lot of people that responded to my Instagram story with their own opinions about loops. And so to that, I will say there are people that it doesn't work for them.
Of course.
Like it's just not
like anything.
doesn't help the sound enough.
Yeah.
For me personally, I put them in and I didn't think it was that different when I was inside. I stepped outside, and usually when I step outside of my apartment complex, I like want to go back inside because it's too loud with the cars. It was like I could still hear all of the cars, but it was what I imagine it's like if you're not sensitive to noise.
Yep.
It was like peaceful. It was just kind of, instead of like a bleh, it was like, and I don't have to do the shit with my AirPods where I have to do the noise canceling. It makes you feel kind of weird if you've ever used like noise canceling headphones. In my opinion,
It does. It almost
it
feels
makes
like
you
a
feel
bit.
a little lightheaded, like
Yes.
kind
It's like
of
a
just
bit
uncomfortable. My
almost like
sister
someone's kind of
worries
putting some
because she's
pressure.
like, you can't hear, and like she's worried about me going on walks with them in.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
with the loops, it's like genuinely, they describe it very well where they say that it's like you can still hear everything. It's just quieter. Genuinely, it does just bring the noise down a lot. I walked next to busy roads. I walked in public places with a lot of people talking. I walked through loud stores, which is all normally places where I'd have my headphones in. And it was like totally fine. It was like perfect.
Did you go on this walk with the intention of testing the loops, or were you just going about your day?
It was me and my girlfriend's nighttime walk, but it was collaborative
their night-night
with me
walk.
testing
It's
the
me and my girlfriend's
I
night-night
like
walk.
the idea of you just going places testing the loops.
I mean, I wanted to figure out like, where do these work, where do they not work, because I don't want to go somewhere with the assumption that they do work and then have them not work, because then I would like need to leave. But I bring my
then
headphones
you'd be
anyway.
looped.
Yeah, I'd have to.
You've left places because of the noise?
Oh, yeah.
Mostly just like movie theaters, and then we were at we went to like a ballet a couple weeks ago, and I almost had to leave there, but
The ballet?
being okay. I had my headphones in for the like actual ballet performance, and it was fine. It was before it started. Rooms where like a lot of people are all talking at the same time is like horrible. My AirPods don't cancel that out because they can't catch a frequency to tune out. So that's like, I discovered probably one of my worst noise.
Interesting.
Can you describe when you say like when I'm in a room and everybody's talking all at once, it's really loud, or when you're describing the sounds that are problematic and you say like it's really bad, quote unquote, can you describe what that feels like to you?
It's kind of painful and also very, very like angering and very disruptive, I guess. And then if it goes on for too long, it's like, no, I just need to leave. Like, I'm gonna freak out.
Like it's activating your fight or flight probably in some way.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm in that moment. Like, what am I feeling in my body right now? Like, you know what I mean? So when I think back to it, I'm just like, oh, that was bad. Don't want to do that again. Don't like that.
I'm asking because it's like a sensory,
Yeah, it is interesting.
it's a sensory overload or like a sensory issue. I'm just wondering if people listening, either they do experience it or they don't, but either way, it could be helpful to kind of explain what it feels like.
The anger, anxiety. Is it anxiety as well, Mac?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Because one time I did this sound bath
Oh, yeah.
in New York, and it was like this meditation center, and I wanted to go check out like the different things that they had. And they did this sound bath, and there was a particular sound that just really fucked me up. And I decided to kind of try and sit through it, but by the end I was like, oh wow, I like hated that experience.
Yeah.
And it was like, it gave me both anger and anxiety to like sit and listen to it.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you're just agitated. That's what happened to me anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's similar.
It's a little, I would definitely say it's more intense than agitation, because I think my anxiety now, when it happens, comes from like, if I don't stop this, I'm gonna like lose it and freak out. And so I almost think that the anxiety part of it is like just fear of like being able to get out of the situation, because if I don't, I know it's gonna be bad. But I understand what you're saying.
No, loops, man. I have them in my backpack I've said this before, but like, me and the eating sounds, that's my problem area. And like being in class and being in, or like a library or somewhere quiet where like just one person is speaking and then someone's eating.
Yeah.
Cannot.
The misophonium. What is it?
Misophonia, yeah.
Misophonia.
But I guess I'm also wondering in this moment, I'm like, what's the difference between something like misophonia and
sensitivity?
Yeah, like a sensitivity or a sensory issue I understand that misophonia is like one type of that. What you're describing, Mac, it feels more widespread or like more generalized than misophonia. Whereas like with misophonia, it's very specific sounds, and they all kind of fall in a similar vein for me of like wet mouth sounds. So it can be like even the way somebody talks or like the way that they drink their water. Like it's like one.
You've got threats everywhere with these conditions.
I know. Like, nowhere is safe. It's like this one.
Have you
kind
lost
of
friends over their wet mouths?
Ooh, no.
Great question.
But I do have people that I know that if we're gonna be somewhere eating, I try to sit far away from them. Or like there are people that I know that the way that you eat triggers my misophonia. And so I will just kind of try to stay away. No, I don't think so. Well, I haven't noticed it. No, I haven't noticed it. Maybe the question I'm trying to ask is about just like the impact on somebody's life. Like it sounds like what you're describing, Mac, has a bigger impact on your day-to-day life than my, little eating sounds. But it's neat that something like these loops can help both of us.
Yeah. Living out here has really exacerbated a lot of things that weren't an issue in where I was living before. It doesn't like eliminate the issue, but if you have noise sensitivity, having that kind of accommodation, for me anyway, has almost completely eradicated the problem. So like,
so neat.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get into this generally, but sometimes I just think about the way we live as human beings. Like Mac, what you've just described, and I'm like, to some degree, like, would this be a thing if we were living in caveman times? You know what I mean?
No.
Because it's like,
we're living in an unnatural.
It's like all of us have these responses built into our systems because we have to, because what if you do hear a really loud, big, scary sound? You're supposed to like absolutely have some sort of reaction to that, right? But like back in the day, those sounds were way more indicative that something was actually happening rather than I live in New York City. I hear those sounds all day long. So like, obviously, I just often, when we're thinking about the spectrum of it all, like, of course, some of us are going to have some of these things. And it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. 'Cause I guess the way that like, just core to who I am, I'm always looking for like connection points, I guess, or around like the human experience. I guess maybe that's like a comedy thing. I don't know. But like,
well, I think that what I was saying about like being in the small town versus the big town proves your point. Like I was still bothered by things there, but it was like, it's obviously much quieter environment.
It's
and
like you're not a noise sensitive
more
person in Missouri. You're only a noise sensitive person in Los Angeles. And I just think that like speaks to something about humanity. You know what I mean?
We should all be living.
We're
on the
all a noise
countryside.
sensitive person somewhere, or we're all a this kind of what, like your circumstances around you, of course, dictate like how you're responding, you know, like, they do, of course. So it's like, sometimes with like these issues, we try to, I think something that I struggle with the internet is everyone trying to have like an identity thing that makes them different or like, oh, you don't understand. It's like, well, we all kind of have like a touch point to each other, right? Because we all have these sort of reactions, don't we? We're just dialed in at different levels. And if you can just be like kind of accommodating to people's like levels of it and like have empathy, you know what I mean? We're not so isolated. We all have these things.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
To varying degrees.
Couldn't agree more. Well, anyway, get the loops.
Get the loops.
Get the loops.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, both big and small, but when we keep them all bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off of your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever it is that's weighing you down. We all know I've been in therapy for years, on and off, and it has helped me so much that I am now in school to become a therapist.
With BetterHelp, I love how I'm able to access my therapist so easily. It's simple to send them a message from the app whenever I think of something I wanted to chat about.
If you are thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire and you'll get matched with a licensed therapist. Plus, you're able to switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/chosenfamily today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/chosenfamily.
Do you think that we'll have something that, for lack of a better term, called like phone disease as a DSM thing? I guess what I'm trying to touch on is like, I'm starting to think that people's things, a lot of them can be categorized under phone disease.
They're adding or have already added internet and or phone use to addictions. So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in that vein.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a really interesting...
I think people see it as being dismissive. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying all of this stuff is super real. It's just, have you also considered that it might be phone disease?
Well, and so that's where actually in training to become a therapist, one of the things that I have learned about, not actually through school, but through my own research into different experiences of different therapists, is you do have a lot of kind of people coming in and saying, hey, I heard about this thing online and I think I have it. But it's not a bad thing, because then as the therapist, you can work with that person and say, okay, well, let's look up together. Let's look at the DSM. Let's look at whatever and look at what constitutes this thing. Like, let's say it's ADHD. You can look at the actual symptomatology of that, and it can be helpful for the person, whether that is what they're experiencing or it isn't. So I think the difficulty probably, and this is more of this is probably more of a systems issue, but like the bigger problem is when somebody gets this information online and then isn't able to bring that to a professional, right? Bring it to a doctor, bring it to a mental health professional, and then have somebody alongside you while you figure out what is happening for you and how you can work through that. And that's not a problem of the individual. The problem isn't we're getting information and then like making our own judgments and assumptions about ourselves and self-diagnosing. To me, that's not the issue. The issue is that there aren't supports in place that are accessible so that every person who gets that information and goes, oh, I think I have autism, I think I have ADHD, I think I am bipolar or have bipolar disorder, whatever. In a perfect world, every single one of those people would be able to then go to a professional and say, hey, this is what I think is happening, and be supported in the way that they need.
I also think people think it's dismissive when you say, have you considered that this phone object is actually a really big part of what you're going through? I think people think that that's dismissive. Mm-hmm. And
it probably, if it's like a general, it's kind of a blanket statement, then it could feel dismissive. Like, but I'm thinking about all this in a therapy context, and I'm like,
if you're going for care, it can be helpful.
But I'm not.
But most people, I don't think most people are.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is the problem. And so I guess I'm thinking about it as like, if we're thinking about adding some sort of diagnosis of quote unquote phone disease or whatever you want to call it, that's almost like putting the onus on the individual rather than saying this is actually a systemic problem.
No, it is a systemic. I think the way that I like look at it is I look at the level of depression and anxiety and suicide. And you look at social scientists are already talking about this a lot. I don't know why it's not more out in the world, but like it's very closely aligned with social media. Like
Absolutely. Oh my God, absolutely.
There's starting to be stuff around it in scientific studies, but like, you know, it's kind of just obvious if you're over a certain age to just kind of be like, whoa, what is happening? And I just wish someone out there could really pinpoint the dangers of this and be like, this needs to be illegal or regulated to some degree. Cause like, it's so interesting to me with the PTSD that I have from what happened to me. Like, it's an interesting case because it wouldn't have happened to me if there was no internet. You know what I mean? So like, that's maybe too on the nose. The way that the phone enables me to panic and feel and launch myself into maybe it's not a good case, but like.
No, I think you're speaking to what somebody would probably get if they walked into a therapy office and said, and were experiencing anxiety, depression, any of the things you just described, and then also presenting with a very time-intensive phone use, what you would probably get would be some sort of exploration of when do I feel my best and when do I feel my worst? And let's do a kind of inventory of your days and the things that you do and the things you engage in, and if we really pay attention to how do you feel after you look at this kind of account? How do you feel after you do this or speak to a friend in person? And that's where you then kind of can hopefully tease apart the destructive kind of phone use versus the kind of the more positive aspects of it, right? Like finding community and all those other wonderful things.
Mine is such an extreme example, but I do think this is happening on the micro. I think because we know from psychology that every social interaction that you have during the day contributes to a positive experience. Like social interactions help you. Like I know a lot of people will be like, I have social anxiety, and this is kind of like what I mean. If you're not participating in those, of course those are going to become more stressful. Like you're just not used to them. So like I what happened to me is macro. Like it's huge and so obvious. But I also think that like this is happening on the micro, and I wish there was just a little less stigma around being like, oh, this is bad for me, and I do use it too much because we're all using it too much, every single one of us. Yeah, and we're part of it right now. But like, unless you're listening on your headphones and you're going for a walk, go off girly. But like, you know,
ratify.
Ratify. But I don't know. It's just something that's on my mind that like I am tired of sounding like an old man for talking about it. Something's wrong. And I just like really hate that. Yeah. It's not, people aren't okay anymore. And it's so obvious why. And it's like,
and I guess maybe the next question then is, okay, so let's say we take away the phone use, right? We say this is a problem, we take it away. The issue isn't really how do we take it away. The issue is like, what do we replace it with then? Like we need we're at a point where so much support is needed, like so much healthcare, so much mental health care, like is needed, and it's just not there because it's not funded. Like it's not, and this again, it's like a systems problem, and it's really hard to.
Well, it's both. It's both that the system isn't there, but the phone is also addicting. Social media is addicting. Right. It's emotional cutting. It's destructive, and it's like both.
And so then it's like, okay, but if we, because I don't think that there are people, and maybe I'm living in a bubble, I don't think there are very many people that would hear you say this overuse of phones is bad for us, and they'd be like, no, you're wrong. I think we know that. People know. I don't think there are a lot of people that would say using my phone less would be bad for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
People generally
people have to
understand
know
that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That it would be good for them to use the phone less. But the problem is like, okay, well then what are we offering
Well, that's
in
the
exchange?
thing is the phone. But the phone, here's what the problem with the phone is. The phone has replaced, it's a lesser quality, more addictive version of the things that are good for us. It is good for us to interact with people. It is not good. It's texting is not necessarily
and so,
a replacement of that. Or like online friendships versus real friendships. That's more complicated because of things like community and being queer and yada, yada.
Yes.
Or like entertainment. Going to a movie and sitting with a group of people at a movie is a way better experience for you socially than watching a movie at home. My favorite example is the UV lights. Oh, this lamp will slowly turn off at night and slowly turn on in the morning, so it feels like the sun. Well, there's also the sun. But like you fucking idiot, it's right there. But
this is what I'm saying is like, I agree with everything that you're saying. But we're already there. Like we're already at that point where this is a problem and people are stuck in it. And so what we need is help from systems.
Oh, I see. For the addiction itself. Yes.
We're already there. So it's like, I think that people listening, if we're just talking about our little space here, would agree. And everyone would agree, yes, this is a problem. But it's like, what can we do then? Like, what's the answer? Well, the answer is that people need help. Like people, and maybe they can get a taste of it listening to us talk here, and maybe they can get a taste of being like, yeah, I should call my friend. Yeah, I should go to a movie with a friend instead of watching it at home or whatever. Like maybe they can get a little inspiration from listening to us talk, but the big picture problem, we need entire, psycho ed campaigns to go into schools and to, it's like, there's nobody offering, I shouldn't say nobody, there's not enough help.
Well, you just sound like an old fucking man to be like, hey, like, why don't you know what I mean? Like it sucks. Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah.
I sound like an old man, but I'm so worried about the kids.
Yeah. Well, and so maybe to kind of bring it back around, we come back to something like Loop, right? Like what Mac is saying, because if you are somebody who has some sort of sensory issue or social anxiety or whatever it is, there are also ways now, because those things are being talked about more and those things are being accepted and accommodations are being made. There are ways to still go out and enjoy the world and be a part of the world that are out there.
Yeah. Mac, you didn't say a word, so I
Well,
don't
I was
know if it
looking
was
for a
annoying.
question for most of it. I didn't know we were like having a discussion until you guys were like almost done. So,
because you said you found one, right?
yes, ma'am. How do you guys deal with being queer at the workplace? I've been working with IT for the last 5 years. I'm not outed at my workplace. I feel like I should since I'm experienced and could maybe open the door for more queer people, but also fear that it might put my career in a bad position.
Oh, so trying to balance like feeling responsible for some sort of representation.
Because we talked about the sports team thing where the person was afraid about coming out to their sports team, but this is a lot different because it's literally their job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I got a huge audition and I got really distracted.
I gotta go. No, it's okay.
Oh my God. I'm trying to find it in my, wow.
Like this is just happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying that like you're like, I really gotta go. I can't answer this question.
I didn't hear the question.
The question is essentially weighing wanting to come out at their workplace to possibly be representation for other maybe closeted queer people in their workplace, but then weighing that against the fear of repercussion for coming out.
Did they say where they work?
IT.
Oh, come out.
Oh, IT is gay.
IT is so gay, dude.
IT is gay.
honestly, stay in. There's other queers. Maybe not at your workplace, but maybe they're not out. But IT is gay. That's gay. IT is actually
Okay, so
so
hope that
trans. I don't think people realize how trans IT is. It's very trans.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ashley votes come out. That's I don't know. It's so
don't.
hard. We can't tell you what to do with that. Like, I think that you should.
Yeah, we don't know the
Maybe
level of
my-
safety that you
Exactly.
feel, which is
My
critical.
instinct is to say that, like, let's just remind you that you have no responsibility to be some sort of, role model or to be some sort of example. You don't need to put yourself at risk for those things. That's not your job. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad queer person to choose to not take that risk. So maybe I'm just wondering if there is some sort of guilt that's driving your decision, I would rethink. If it's like a desire to, like, I guess, what's the drive?
Maybe she wants
it guilt?
to,
Then,
or he or they want to start like queer LGBT ERG at their company. Maybe that's
that
the
sounds
drive.
cool. And that would be different, I think. If
You
I'm
don't
trying
even
to
have to
think
come
of a
out to do
broad-
that, by the way.
Right?
Jen's cousin. Okay, let me posit this for everybody, okay? Because sometimes I get these messages like, I really want to go to your show, but I can't because I'm not out. And I'm like, well, you're not inviting other people to come with you. You can, like, go to it alone, by the way. And straight people are there as well.
Straight people go. Yeah.
Straight people go. So, like, I understand that the anxiety of feeling, oh my God, everyone's going to find out I'm gay. Like, I get that. But Jen's cousin runs the diversity and inclusion LGBT thing at her workplace, and she is straight. She runs it as an ally. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think she's creating sort of an environment where no one has to come out. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of nice in a weird way. So, like, I don't know what you look like. I don't know where you are. But for anyone listening, if you'd like to start something like that, you can start it in the closet.
Right.
I know that sounds weird, but
No, I think that's
you're
a really
right, but
neat.
I do think it's sus.
it's,
I'm
of
gonna
course
just
it's
put that
sus.
out there, just full transparency.
It's totally sus. Yes. I mean, my girlfriend's cousin has the advantage that she's married with children to a man, but, like,
she's got a beard.
of course the people, oh, you think my girlfriend's cousin is gay? She's not gay.
I should know.
I would know.
No, I'm just saying.
I would know. But
She's got a cover.
maybe she's bi, but I don't think she's gay. But no, like at my high school, the kids who ran the GSA, one of them was straight. The other one, I think, was in the closet. But, like, like, it does happen. It draws attention to you, but straight
doesn't
people are
necessarily
super
mean that you're
accommodating
queer.
of the closet.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Yeah, I was
have you
gonna
guys
say-
talked to straight people? If the butchiest bull dyke on the planet tells them that they're gay, that they're straight, they're like, no, she says she's straight. Have you heard a straight person talk about gay people? Like, it's actually crazy. We're the ones that are like, nah, you're gay. Straight people accept it. They really do.
Yeah.
Not maybe not in middle school.
Because it's the
It's
default
more
for them.
sus
So
to
then
be
it's like
homophobic than it is to be an ally.
True. True. That's
so true. That's so true.
So I
Okay.
think you're right, actually.
I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Just go. Mac and I will.
Okay.
We're
I
also
don't
at
know, Mac. Do you
51.
think I'm wrong about this?
About what? About
I guess it
straight
wouldn't.
people-
It wouldn't speak to the representation thing, but it would speak to creating a safe environment.
I mean, I think there's lots of straight people that want to participate in different forms of activism or, like, making sure that minority groups are represented. So I don't know why they wouldn't. I just think you said it, it's going to bring a little attention to them. It is a little sus. But I stand by my statement. It's not as sus as being homophobic.
Yeah. Well, who
'Cause
am I
that's, like,
thinking?
why are
Mike,
you so
Mike
against it?
Pence. Mike Pence. I would not have thought of him as being gay if he weren't so homophobic.
That's so true.
I would not have. Like, if he ran a
Real.
GSA, I would not have ever.
You wouldn't think twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't think
Because
twice.
it's the people that are so confident in being an ally. You're like, oh, if they were gay, they'd just come out. Because
Yeah.
they're already like doing the ally thing.
Yeah.
No, you're so right. I mean, whether this person wants to start the whole club or not,
Well,
they can do that and then come out later.
Yeah, exactly. If you just want to see how it goes, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I noticed we have a this, but we don't have an LGBT one. I'm my cousin's gay, and I'm happy to be that. I have a lot of gay friends, and I would really like to be that person.
Yeah, I have a gay friend. I can totally take the reins.
Mac, we're like never alone together on this podcast. Have you noticed that? Alayna
That's
and
not
I have done
true.
solo. You and Alayna have done solo.
We've done. Oh, I guess we didn't do a solo episode. We did one with Mattia. I think we're alone together.
You don't want to be alone with me.
That's not true. We're
Feels
on
that
here at the
way.
beginning alone all the time.
Oh, hey, Alayna. How
Hey,
are
Alayna.
you? Alayna.
Hello.
Oh,
We're having technical issues. We need the IT person that wrote in to come help. I also didn't know that IT was gay.
IT's gay.
So that should also make them feel a little bit better.
The men in IT are either closeted bisexual or closeted trans lesbians. All of them. I don't make the rules.
now I can't hear you at all.
Hello.
Oh no, what's going on? Okay, well, I've lost sound completely.
Thank you
now,
for
so-
listening to the Chosen Family podcast.
Okay,
if you
reading
would
lips.
like to donate to our Patreon,
Oh yeah, donate to the Patreon Chosen Family Podcast.
Patreon.com/Chosen Family Podcast.
Chosen Family Podcast.
We read your questions, and there are
We'll answer your questions.
bonus episodes.
I'm saying poo-tang, which I don't think is what you're saying.
What did we have for dinner? Poo-tang.
What do we have for dinner?
She's pretty good at that.
I know she is. She's
was
really good.
good.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh no.
Goodbye,
I don't know what's going on. I'm
everybody.
just gonna be,
Bye.
okay. Yeah, thanks for listening. This is my goodbye. I don't know about those two because I can't hear them.
Chosen Family is a Forever Dog production, hosted by Ashley Gavin, Alayna Joy, and Mac INGEMI. Edited by Danny Jewell, executive produced by Mariah Nicholas. Forever Dog Productions is Joe Cilio, Alex Ramsey, and Brett Boehm.
Forever